right. Welcome back, everyone. J-Bone here for Smash This Podcast. Oh, it's been a bit, folks. All right. So just a quick update on everything that's going on. I have been trying to. What's up, Faustino? How you doing? I've been trying like hell to. Well, number one, I had my son this past weekend, and I had him for different days than I normally have him. So that threw off my schedule on here. So, there's that. And I hate giving excuses, but I want to give you guys an update on what's happening, why I haven't been producing content. I have been trying like hell to find a solution for the Total Nonstop Impact podcast to find a way to go live with all three of us, because YouTube got rid of the Google Hangouts where you could, include multiple people in the call and go live. That's gone. So that's frustrating, because we just started to do that, and now, because I was testing out a bunch of stuff. I was testing out OBS. That doesn't recognize NDI. I tested out Streamlabs OBS. My computer almost blew up. I tested XSplit. My computer almost blew up. Like, everything froze. Like, I did some tests with Styles, and it went absolutely horrible. Then I found this. And what's crazy is, after testing all that and then deleting all that off my computer, uninstalling all these things, YouTube by itself will not recognize my webcam by itself without a third party now, which is very frustrating. It takes out the whole simplicity of me just boom, typing in my stuff, throwing in a thumbnail, going live. Can't do it anymore, apparently. So, so in talking with Trent, and then I just retried this, and this seems like it's working. So I need some feedback from you guys while I'm live. Let me know if this is freezing, the volume's okay. Any feedback is appreciated. And I apologize, it's been almost a week since I've been on here, but busy, family stuff, projects around the house, and just life in general, and just trying to get this get this better, So as you can see up in the little the corner up here, I guess, this is powered by StreamYard, the duck. I'm new to all this StreamYard stuff. It's pretty simple. Thanks, Mark. Thank you, Faustino. I appreciate the feedback. So yeah, this has just been a literal headache. Like, my head just spinning, feeling like it's going to explode, just trying to figure all this stuff out. It's been a pain in the ass, and I've been even considering changing things up, how I'm doing stuff. And, I'm just trying to keep all options at bay. I'm not stopping. Don't worry. That's not an option. I'm going to keep doing this. It's just, this has been stressful. So that being said, let's jump into some stuff. Let me bring in the news. I want to start out talking about something that popped up in my notifications the other day. It's something I hadn't talked about in a while, the NWA. Billy Corgan just announced that late September, like the last day in September, first day, October 1st, I believe is what he said, down in Atlanta, Georgia. Excuse me. They are going to start producing their own TV. They're no longer associated, apparently, with Ring of Honor, which is interesting. I'm sure Billy wants the freedom of bringing in whoever he wants. You know, he's trying to build his brand. Completely understandable. He's got a handful of guys under his belt now. He's got the champ, Nick Aldis. He's had him since day one, and he's been very loyal to him. I give him a lot of credit because the future of the NWA has been a giant question mark. You know, like how far is this going to go? How quickly is it going to grow? Excuse me. Who's going to be involved in it? Most recently, Eli Drake has been signed by the NWA. And Sienna, I'm trying to think of her name. I think that's her name, is the women's champ. And I'm not sure who else officially is part of the product. James Storm is the national champion, I believe. I'm a little rusty on some of the NWA stuff over the course of the last several months. Just because the content has been so few and far between, and I don't watch Ring of Honor on a regular basis, you know, it's not a knock on them. I just don't, you know, I already watch a bunch of, I watch MLW, Impact, amongst other things. I try to keep updates on here for AEW, along with, you know, reviewing stuff when that content starts really rolling. Sorry, let me turn the ringer off of this. Ooh, Impact Wrestling is live now. I'll have to check that out later. Must be their weekly thing. They haven't done that in a while. So yeah, I'm excited for this. I'm very curious to see where the NWA, where, you know, Corgan is going to be doing this live stuff from a remote location down in Atlanta, Georgia. You know, and that's great. A great wrestling, I'll say, territory, you know. The South has always been good. I think, you know, he's probably done a lot of research to see where he could do this as inexpensively as possible and put out good content. The only problem with this announcement is it's so vague. We don't know the location. We don't know dates, times. We don't know who's all going to be involved. So, we don't know where this feed is going to go to. My first thought is it's going to be YouTube, but we don't know. Let me catch up on the chats here for a second. Doing good. Okay, I'm surprised Aldis didn't want to jump ship. Yeah, he's been faithful to Corgan. You know, I mean, he's legit gone around the world with the belt and defended it faithfully. And, you know, some people like him, some people don't, but I feel like he's really put a lot back put a lot of stock back into the NWA, the 10 pounds of gold itself, you know? And now that being done over the course of the last year, now he's building the brand itself. He's surrounding it with people. He's got the national championship. He's got the women's champion. And obviously the tag team champs are part of the Ring of Honor. I'm trying to remember who it is. Is it PCO and oh gosh, I can't remember the guy's name. I'm sorry. I'm a little rusty on my Ring of Honor stuff. But it's two guys. It's part of the Villain Club, I believe. Marty Scurll's guys. Super stoked to have Ivelisse and Piper's daughter in AEW. Yes, let's get to that next. So yeah, I'll be following this NWA news very closely to see what's going to happen. Any updates? I'll be adding them here because I got that notifications on the NWA channel. So Billy Corgan, whenever he pops up with some new news, I'll be on here. Let's talk some NWA updates. I don't want to miss nothing here. Let me quick jump to the okay. So, and I didn't want to lose anything, so I pulled up an article here. This is courtesy of ringsidenews.com. So the women's championship is going to be part of it's going to be we're going to find out, you know, at All Out who's going to be the new women's champ. It says here AEW's All Out event will take place on August 31st, and fans will want to tune in during the buy-in event. That's the pre-show, because just like at Double or Nothing, the winner of the Casino Battle Royal, which will get a future title shot. The big difference this time around is the title shot will be for the future AEW women's title. It is revealed during this latest Road to All Out that the Casino Battle Royal match before All Out will be exclusively for the women. Ladies first, you know. So they announced a few participants already. Now, I don't know if all these women are going to be signed. We don't know any details of all that. But just the fact that these women are involved is very interesting and very exciting, in my opinion. Number one, we got former NWA Women's Champ. She was also part of the WWE, ECW, whatnot. Jazz. Jazz is back. She stepped away from the NWA. I'm not sure why, if it's because of this opportunity, or if she was dealing with some injuries. I'm not sure of all the details. But Jazz forfeited her NWA championship. And then there was a tournament, I believe, at one of the last big NWA events to find the new one, which then became Sienna. At least I think that's what she's called. If that's wrong, I apologize. But so, yeah, Jazz is going to be one of the participants in this Casino Battle Royal. We also have Ivelisse. Now, I've been a big fan of Ivelisse ever since Styles, what is up? I've been a fan of Ivelisse since Lucha Underground. Now, I've seen her before that, but she's never been like featured exclusively anywhere. But she had some time in NXT, and she had a cup of coffee in TNA back in the day, part of the Gut Check. But she really, really shined that on Lucha Underground over the 4 seasons that were there. That was very exciting. I'm sorry, I'm like distracted by the layout of this whole thing. I'm still getting used to it. So if I stop, pause, and I look like I'm like staring off into something, it's just because it's been a week. Anyways, Ivelisse is awesome. Great that someone's finally giving her a shot. I hope they sign her. Man, I'm telling you, AEW. Now, you guys know I'm a firm supporter of Impact Wrestling. Love the knockouts. Tremendous division. I was really hoping that they were going to sign some more of the ladies from Lucha Underground besides Taya. Well, they didn't sign Thunder Rosa. They didn't sign Ivelisse. And I never heard anything specifically why, but damn, she's so good, Obviously, Sexy Star staying down in Mexico, that's neither here nor there. Faustino says, after hearing Jazz on Dreamers podcast, I've become a huge fan of hers. Hope she stays long term. Yeah, I mean, she would be a great veteran presence in the locker room. And I tell you, man, if they keep all these women on, I'm getting to the third in just a second, so just give me a second. They keep these women on long term, their women's locker room will rival anything. And I mean anything out there. I don't even have to go down the list. You guys know who's all part of this. Between the Japanese talent coming in, that has been just absolutely outstanding and very entertaining in the ring, to legends like Awesome Kong coming back, Britt Baker, Kylie Ray, just to name a few. Man, it's so hurt. Oh, Nyla Rose. Jazz versus Nyla. Oh my goodness. Book it. Book it already, right? Very excited for Jazz. And she shaved her head too, which makes her look even more badass. She's got that big, I wouldn't say headdress, but it's more of a mask. I was like, geez, who is this? And then she took off the mask. And I was watching this while I was grilling last night. And almost burnt a couple burgers because I was, distracted by the video. I was like, holy cow. Now, side note, me and my wife met her at Fighter Fest. She was amazing. Nice. Nyla? Nia Rose, whatever her name is. I'm assuming who you're talking about. Awesome. Yeah, seems like a very cool woman. Now, this one got me all kinds of emotional. Number one, I didn't even know Piper had a daughter. Okay. I knew he had a son. This is how well he had his family kind of just tucked away from everything from wrestling. We didn't know. I didn't know. It's not like Ric Flair's son in WCW going out there and doing his own shtick, No, I had no clue. He had a son that I know was involved in wrestling and MMA or something, but I've never seen any of his stuff. I've heard of him. That's it. And that was right after Roddy passed, because there's obviously news about him out there. So you start hearing a trickle effect of other things going on in this family here and there. I had no clue he had a daughter. They announce Teal Piper. Roddy Piper's daughter is going to be part of this. Now, I have no clue what her extent in the ring is, how green she is. I'm not going to assume anything. All I know is that I'm really excited that Piper's daughter is going to be a part of this. That's going to make history. So, is she going to... I mean, I know people were excited when Ronda Rousey came out, and like represented Piper and the jacket and the kilt and the music and everything. Actually, no, she came out the Joan Jett stuff. But, Piper gave her the blessing, or the family gave her the blessing with the jacket and the kilt and whatever to represent. So it's going to be interesting to see how Teal Piper represents her father. Yeah, I can't wait to see that. And I'll be following this news very closely to see who else they add. Obviously, there's going to be surprises. People are already saying, "Oh, now AJ Lee is definitely going to show up." What? Come on, I mean, they always say never, but you can't assume anything. Like I said, never assume anything in the world of wrestling. And Jake the Snake Roberts tossing the cards. That was pretty badass. So yeah, we'll see who else they have for this. This is supposed to be 21 girls, I believe. 20, 21, 20, whatever it is. 21, I think. We'll see who's all involved. Eli, what is up? Bro, did you hear Jazz is going to be in AEW? Yes, I just got done talking about that. You got to hit the rewind button on that. And Jake the Snake Roberts is Hangman Page's manager. That I did not hear. That's interesting. He would certainly be someone who can, if he's part of the AEW locker room, he would certainly be someone that could tip all the young kids off on the do's and don'ts of wrestling. Perfect example of what not to do. But he still has all his faculties. He's still, he does his tour. I think he's even coaching in his own, I want to say dojo, gym, whatever you want to call it, his own wrestling school. I think he started that up recently with a couple of guys. Oh, you're predicting that? Oh. Hey, it could happen. It could happen. Eli. Jeez Louise. No fake news here. No, I'm kidding. All right. Now I wanted to go over Triplemania. This was a wild ass show. Very long. very long, but I wanted to just adjust this. I apologize. This was like over 4 hours long. It took me like 2 days to watch this between, watching it one night into the next morning. I don't know if I'm going to touch on every single thing here, but I want to touch on some highlights. Number one, and I've been watching, I don't watch all the AAA stuff. I try to catch it live on the Twitch channel when I can. Number one, the announcers, the commentary team for the English speaking commentary team, Matt Stryker and Joe Dombrowski. Joe coming in as a virtual unknown. I've heard of him. I know I subbed to his channel, but I don't give it a lot of attention. But his pairing with Matt Stryker, they complemented each other so much. It was awesome. They did a great job. So props to Matt Stryker. I mean, you guys, if you guys watched my channel for a while, you know I love Matt Stryker. I loved him on the weekly episodes of Lucha Underground. I wish he was still a regular part of my regular, wrestling viewing activities. He's not. I'm hoping he ends up somewhere because his, I put him up there with Mauro Ranallo, legit. He's just the way he calls the action and then adds in little bits about each person. It's great. It's really good. And then Joe Dombrowski just, I went into this like, who's this guy? And he did great. He really did. Like I said, they complemented each other. So that right there was, added to the show, because if it was just the Spanish commentary team, they were kind of taking it. No, this is not a racist thing. It's just, if you don't understand what they're talking about, kind of takes you out of it. You really got to focus, That's just the way my mind works. I'm sure I'm not the only one there. Started out with the mixed tag, the men's and the women tag team, Aussie Suicide and Vanilla, Scarlett Bordeaux and Sammy Guevara. Those two hamming it up. Oh my goodness, that was so funny. My notes, dear God. Maravilla. Oh, Lady Maravilla and I didn't catch the name. I scribbled something. I apologize. And then Nino Hamburger. I just call him Hamburger. And Big Mammy. Mommy. Man, this was wild. This was a great way to kick off the show. I didn't even realize they had a mixed tag team championship. So that right there was really entertaining. But they're not afraid to do the intergender stuff, obviously, mix up the men and the women. So that's a lot of fun. Not everyone's cup of tea, but this was a blast. Oh, I obviously was rooting for Sammy and Scarlett Bordeaux. They didn't come off with the win, though. Lady Maravilla and her partner came off with the win. But yeah, tons of entertainment there. Then they did a tribute to all those who had passed away this past year. And that's one thing that this company really gets is their cultural authenticity as far as paying respect to the past. They do it really well. They they don't have stone cold beer bashes. They really take the time to put together good presentations, and it's classy. It adds a real certain amount of class to AAA. So compliments on that. The trios belts. They had Pimpinella, Maximo, and Mamba, always entertaining. What a riot watching that crew. Pato de Norte versus Sin Cara, Vikingo, and Golden Magic. Now, they talked about how the Laredo Kid was a part of that last group I mentioned, and that they kind of gave him the blessing to, hey, you're ready to go out and do your own singles thing. And, he's been featured on Impact Wrestling, and also in AEW. So, yeah, he's really starting to, get his name out there as a star and whatnot. And I know he's done other stuff. I just can't remember all the different things I've seen him in within the last few years. But, yeah, Sin Cara, Vikingo, and Golden Magic came off one of the trios belts here. Apparently they were vacant from what I heard. Tons of action, a lot of fun. Then they had this like, it was kind of like a royal, not a royal rumble, I guess we call it like not a battle royal, like a Royal Rumble of sorts for this Triplemania Cup. Yes, I heard about that, Eli. Yes. About Chris Sabin. Not going to go through all the names on here. One thing I do want to point out, number one, Pagano won. So that was a cool name to see. Win this. He's a more popular name down in AAA. We finally, now this was teased last year that we were going to get some kind of thing between Vampiro and Conan. Well, both of them over the course of the last year, they're not exactly up to par to go full blown, 100 miles an hour at each other and just tear it up in the ring. But Conan showed up in like a Trump shirt or something. It was hilarious. Oh my God. Got totally booed and then just sat in the corner while a bunch of other guys protected him. And then a little while later, Vampiro showed up. Place exploded. And he came down and he eliminated Conan and kicked his ass and threw him over the rope. Oh man, that was exciting. It was real brief. If you blinked, you missed it. But, and that was the extent of what we were getting from those two. But then Vampiro even just eliminated himself. He just left, and that's all he wanted to do out of respect for everyone else in the ring. But he just wanted to because his rivalry with Conan goes back decades. So yeah, that was fun to watch. That was one of the big highlights. Crazy, yeah. But it came down to Chessman and Pagano won. Then, LA Park. Now, this is where I'm a little fuzzy on the history of some of this stuff. I know there's a few LA Parks. Okay, there's an LA Parka and an LA Park, and there's one that's been featured recently in MLW. And I believe that's the authentic one. I think. Like I said, I'm a little confused on some of it. But LA Park shows up at the end of this with this crew and gives a beat down to Pagano. And the place just exploded. He got booed and everything because apparently he left. But during this match, there was also LA Parka, and he was drastically different look. Same getup, different look. So interesting. Like I said, I'm fuzzy on the whole who's who and whatnot, but definitely different characters and why there's two. I'd have to do some research on that. AEW signed Raven to be car dealer next. I'm for it, but it's got to be some new guys with dark personality. Okay. We'll see. I'm sure they're going to add some legends to the locker room for at least consulting purposes. A lot of guys are jumping on board with AEW and they want to be involved. So we'll see. I mean, last we saw Raven was in Impact Wrestling, so who knows? Next, we got the AAA. This was exciting. The Women's Championship, Reina de Reinas, I believe they call it. It was a TLC match, and they had the championship hung up way above the ring. No, I'm not familiar with a lot of these, but I'll read off the list. Chick Tormenta, La Hiedra, Tessa Blanchard, Lady Shani, Taya Valkyrie, Fabi Apache, Kira came out. She was the champion, and she had to give it up because she was injured. And then, Hamada came out. Now, I was seeing stuff online about Hamada, like how she was in prison. Well, apparently, Hamada's out of prison for drug charges, whatever she was doing. But yeah, she's back, so that was exciting. I always liked her content. I can't remember what she's all done. Like I said, it's a little fuzzy. She's been gone for a couple of years or whatever it's been. But she did her stint. She did her time. She's back. So AAA has a new women's champion, and it is Tessa Blanchard. Wow. That was amazing to see. This was a great match. A lot of fun, a lot of violence. Man, Tessa's just on fire lately. You guys watch my videos. You guys hear me talk about Tessa over on the Total Nonstop Impact podcast. You know how much love and respect I got for Tessa Blanchard. She's just absolutely amazing. So yeah, congrats to Tessa, new women's champ in AAA. Then we have a few matches left here. It's like a triple main event here. The surprise, I guess, was Killer Cross. They didn't know he was going to be part of this match. So it's Killer Cross, Taurus, and Teano Jr. against Psycho Clown, Cody Rhodes, and a debuting Cain Velasquez as a luchador. And I was impressed with him. I feel like he did a really good job here for a debut. Now, apparently he was getting trained by Killer Cross, so it just makes sense that he was involved in this. I'm just glad that Killer Cross was involved in a big profile match like this because he didn't even have a match last year. He came out last year, destroyed the cruiserweights, and that was it. That was it. And it's been an absolute crime that he hasn't been featured more, or given a chance. New look. He's grown his hair back. Very interesting. Now, he has not been around Impact Wrestling very much lately. So, and I have not heard any specific status, like if he's just taking some time off, cooling off about his situation from them. They're purposely keeping him off TV. I have no idea what's going on with Cross, but I'm dying to know. But like I said, nonetheless, very exciting to see him here. I know he's working on some other stuff around the Indies. He's going to be up around the Chicago area, pretty close to here, within a few weekends, working for Warriors Wrestling or something like that. Everything to keep us. New TV deal. Yeah, they're getting TV. That was the first thing I talked about when I was when I just went live. It was the first thing I talked about. Very excited about that. So Cain Velasquez gets the win here. He put a Kimura lock on Tejano Jr. and got the win. MLW next. I don't know when I'm going to get the MLW this week. I haven't even watched it. I've been so busy with other stuff and trying to process YouTube stuff. I'm trying to, like, cram as much as I can into this one as a catch-up video. No promises on what else is going to come this week. I'm just trying to do my best on just get back on here. Like I said, I know it's almost been a week. So my apologies again for that. Okay, next we got, and this hit the 3-hour mark here. This is getting long. This show ended up being like just 4 hours, just right around the 4-hour mark. We had the 3-on-3. We had Kenny Omega's debut in AAA. Very exciting. He tagged with the Young Bucks, Matt and Nick, of course, versus Laredo Kid and the Lucha Brothers, Pentagon and Phoenix. Now, we've seen this match before in AEW, but different surroundings, different area, different, little different feel to this, 6-sided ring. But man, just an amazing, fun match. Kenny really stood out here. He was just on fire. He does well in the singles matches. We all know that. He's being called one of the best in the world right now. And it's all a matter of opinion. But I got to agree that he certainly is, I'd say, top 5, in my opinion. But that's arguable. Everybody's got their own favorites as far as who's the best and whatnot. But what's crazy is the Lucha Brothers and Laredo Kid won here, but then Kenny Omega stayed in the ring and challenged Phoenix for his AAA championship. I can't wait to see that. Now, that match already happened as far as a Kenny Omega versus Phoenix. It was about a year ago in the Indies, somewhere up in the Northeast. NEW, I believe it was. I've got it on my watch later list because it's up on YouTube somewhere. I never watched the whole thing before. Nice long match. I think it's about a half an hour. Those two really tore it up. So we're going to get that again, and this time it's for a much bigger prize. Can't wait to see it. Oh my goodness, the whole thing I'm looking at here is Eli. What is up? Billy Corgan wants to work with Impact on a partnership with Don and Scott. Possibly, but I don't know. I have no idea. Some top... Yeah, he definitely needs to bring in some more names because right now he's only got his core champions, and that's about it. Ring of Honor is dead like a old pair of shoes. Damn! I wouldn't say that. I mean, the ROH has gone through some serious issues. They lost a good chunk of their core people that people were coming in to watch, and then they went off and created AEW. So, yeah, they've Ring of Honor's got some growing pains again, but they brought in a lot of great talent. So, they got to make their own stars, and they'll. And I'm not knocking who they have, I just haven't watched. It's still good. It's still good product, but just hasn't been on my radar lately. Yeah, Kenny challenges Phoenix. Phoenix accepts. That's kind of important, right? So we don't know when and where that's going to happen. I'm assuming it'll happen on Mexican soil. We'll see. Maybe at one of the next big specials they have. We'll see. Last but certainly not least, now this feud goes back decades, and I'm not going to sit here and tell you all about it because you know what? I really don't know. My introduction to Blue Demon Jr. and Dr. Wagner Jr. was in Lucha Underground over the last handful of years. But I know it goes well beyond that. But they showed a nice little catch-up video for those like myself who were not familiar with how this came about. Blue Demon Jr. apparently turned on Dr. Wagner Jr. after, forming an alliance of sorts. And then they attacked him, turned on him, thus creating the hair versus mask match to headline Triplemania 27. Dr. Wagner Jr. Giving up his hair versus Blue Demon Jr. giving up his mask. This was ugly. Blue Demon Jr., holy shit. Buckets of blood. And I mean buckets of blood. I don't know how long this match went. At least a half an hour? 20 minutes to half an hour? But when he obviously gigged himself at some point, he gigged a little too deep because from there on, after that happened, when he was at the ref's feet and did that and he came up, it wasn't just a drip, drip, drip. No, it was pouring out of his head. It was crazy. I mean, it was some of the bloodiest stuff I've seen. I would put it up there with what Dustin Rhodes looked like almost at one of the last AEW shows. And holy cow. I mean, they both got bloody, but man, they were both covered in Blue Demon's blood after this match. Just crazy. Blue Demon Jr. comes off with the win. And Dr. Wagner Jr. Very interesting. I've seen a few hair versus, mask matches in AAA over the last, I'd say, handful of years when I've really started watching on a partial basis. And that's one thing you'll see, sometimes you'll see like in the WWE or other places, the opponent who ends up supposed to, get his hair cut or whatever ends up running away and it doesn't happen. One thing I've noticed about AAA is if you lose, they sit in the ring and they'll either do it themselves or their crew will do it and they'll or their opponent, shave some off, whatever. And, man, it's, it's like I said, there's a different feel to these shows. There's, it's a cultural thing, So yeah, Dr. Wagner got his head shaved. The first thing he did was cut his ponytail off, handed it over to Blue Demon Jr., and they exchanged some words. And then, in the process of that, as Matt Stryker, excuse me. Ooh, just a sip left. That means it's just about time to go. We're coming up on an hour, too. Dr. Wagner Jr. translated through Stryker, announced his retirement. Huge news. I'm a little surprised I'm not seeing more of this talked about. I mean, I've been off social media here and there, but I'm a little surprised I'm not seeing more of this discussed. The fact that Dr. Wagner Jr. is retiring from wrestling. That's huge. Passing on his stuff to, I guess, his son, Junior, Ihode Jr. So we'll see. But yeah, Dr. Wagner Jr. retires, and I'm glad I've seen what I have seen, the little bit of his career that I have, which for me started in Lucha Underground as showing up at oh my God, what the hell is it called? Season finale, Ultima Lucha. Oh my God, see, it's getting fuzzy. You don't watch it for a while, and stuff gets fuzzy. I want to go back and I want to watch the reruns though, because man, it's so good. Come to think of it, someone I saw on Facebook, one of the guys from Lucha Underground who I follow, shared a link, and it's on Let me find the bookmark. Give me just a second here. It's Tubi.com. Tubi.com. Tubi, I don't know what you call it. But all 4 seasons of Lucha Underground are on there, and apparently it's free. I haven't dived into this yet, but I'm going to watch a few episodes because, damn, I missed this. I seriously do. Let me jump back in the chat real quick. We need Impact to announce its new television deal. Yeah, we're waiting patiently, you know. I mean, when they know, we'll know, you know. I heard the Access TV stuff, the discussion isn't dead yet, but, you know, I'm not holding my breath on that. I don't know, you know. The reason why we shouldn't worry as fans too much is because they still have a ton of steam worldwide. Their TV deals, I think, are keeping them afloat right now. But if you want to support them, seriously, I don't know why people are so scared of Twitch, you know. It's free, you know, and you can even subscribe to it if you want to really support them. And if you got Amazon Prime, I know a lot of people do. We do. In fact, Amazon Prime's got some interesting TV series I keep seeing advertised. This new superhero one, that one looks fascinating. Very dark, kind of Watchmen-ish in a sense. But yeah, that's going to do it for this one. I've rambled on enough. Thank you for staying patient, folks. I know I haven't been on here in a minute. Like I said, just trying to better the future for the Total Nonstop Impact podcast, as well as adjust how I do things on here. And in the process of doing that, I've found a hiccup in trying to go live on just YouTube. So as you can see, I'm using this little duck here. I'm going by, what's this called? StreamYard. The duck. But thanks for the rambles. Thank you, Styles, for tuning in. AEW signed Dr. Wagner Jr. as a producer or color commentator. Well, you know, they could do, you know, I don't know how good his English is, but powered by Affleck. Oh, that's some funny shit there, Styles. Thank you. Thank you for the giggles. Yeah, I don't know. You know, I mean, as AEW grows, they're going to want, you know, international deals, whatever. I'm sure they're going to hold shows in Mexico. You know, they're going to be worldwide. It's just going to be interesting to see where they go next. Well, we know where they're going to go next. They announced Washington, D.C., sold it out. Then they announced the next date. I'm going to screw up the order here. One is Boston, one is Philly. Not sure which one goes first. Very interesting. So they are starting the loop, if you will. Hoping Milwaukee's going to be somewhere on that loop. Or Madison. You know, it looks like they're going for like they went big for their TV debut. Then there looks like they're doing smaller arenas going forward because they want to go more for quality, not quantity. You know, you just, we're going to do stadiums. And no, that's, you know, got to be realistic, you know. Somewhere down the road, they can, you know, book a stadium for like a huge thing somewhere down the road. But got to build the brand first. You know, it's not a guaranteed home run, but it's a nice little start, you know. I'm still laughing at that Affleck. So yeah, that's going to do it for this one. Thanks for tuning in, folks. As the updates on if you came in late, I started out with NWA, talked about AEW, the ladies, the new ladies that are going to be involved in AEW. To what extent, I don't know, but I'm going to be following that very closely. Hopefully these women get signed and they grow the women's division in AEW. It's great already, but, hell, let's keep going. Let's keep adding this women power, Yo. And then we talked about highlights from Triplemania. And it's going to do it. I don't know what else is coming this week. I'm pretty fried, not going to lie. Going to try to get the MLW. No promises. Might do a double next week. Till then, I'm going to keep on researching some streaming stuff and testing stuff out. And any feedback is good. Seems like this went well as far as I could tell. Thank you all for tuning in, and we'll see you down the road real soon. Much love, folks.